بالمتحدث الثاني لهذا اليوم الدكتور طالب خفاجي.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم والصلاة والسلام على سيد المرسلين. Good afternoon. It is wonderful to see all of you are here listening to this presentation. But I'm going to start with you in a wisdom story. Once upon a time, there was a young man. He's struggling with himself to learn the art of living and how he can be happy. So they told him, there is a wise man living up in the mountain, and you may go and learn the wisdom of life from him. So he packed up and went to climb the mountain and went to the wise man, said, "Wise man, I am coming to learn from you about life. How to be happy, how to stop this inner conflict and struggle." He says, "Stick around. I will teach you." So he stays 1 week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks. Didn't talk to him. He came and he said, "Wise man, I've been around for almost a month and you didn't talk to me." He said, "Well, I will tell you. Let's drink tea, you and me, and we'll talk." So he gave him a cup of tea, and the cup is empty, and he started to pour a tea in it. And he kept pouring, and the cup filled up, and the tea spilled over, and he kept pouring. He said, "Wise man, look at the ground, it's filled with tea." He said, "This is what I want to tell you. Your cup is filled and there is no space to learn from me. Go and empty your cup, then you can learn." So folks, I need from you 10 minutes to empty your cup so we can go through the journey of self-discovery. Please, the slide, please. Presentation. Thank you. So we're going to shed some understanding upon our human behavior and about our own self. Okay. The window of the personality, if you capture, I'm going to bring you about 3 concepts. And please, by the time that you leave from this door, that you are going to learn something about you and the other people. And the window of the personality consisted of 4 windows. All of us, we have 4 windows. We have the first window is the open self, which there are many things that we know about you and you know about yourself. Let's take, for example, Dr. Bender, the first speaker. Dr. Bender, we know about him that he is a very generous person. And he knows about himself, he's a very generous person. The other part is the private part. Dr. Bender knows about himself he is a stingy person, but we don't know about him. So this is a private part, okay? That he himself only knows about this part, and we don't know about this part. The other part is the blind self. The blind self that we know about Dr. Bender. He's a very angry man, but he doesn't know about himself. He thinks he's a very peaceful and mellow man. So there is about 25% of his personality, the blind self, he is unaware about it. And the other part is the undiscovered part of our self, which he doesn't know about himself, We didn't know about himself. There are a lot of materials buried in the unconscious mind. We call it al-aql al-lawa'i. It's buried there. So basically, we have 15% of the personality is not accessible to us. 50%, 25. So 50% of our personality is not accessible to us, folks. We didn't know about it, and we die, and we go, and this personality die with us, and we consider ourselves. No, I know about myself. No, folks, you didn't know about yourself. And a lot of people, they say, well, every person, we really know about what's good and what's bad for you. Well, folks, I have good news for you. You know the bad things about yourself, but you didn't know the good things. So let's move along, okay? So we have because about 90% of our personality comes from the unconscious mind of the materials buried throughout our ages, since the age of our life until the adulthood or the late adulthood. These are materials buried, and we tend to behave automatically. The other concept which we need to explore this evening or this afternoon, it's hard to change our opinion, folks. How it's hard to change our opinion? Here is the experiment done in one of those universities in America. Dr. John came to the student, a graduate student, and he said, listen, I have a news for you, student. Do you know Dr. David? They say, oh, yeah, of course we know him. He taught us the classes. And he said, listen, Dr. David is a very corrupted man. He is really abusive to the system. He plays with the ethical standard. He is no good for anything. And he gave them paper and pencil, evaluate Dr. David. And needless to say, what would be the evaluation of Dr. David? Of course, is very negative. So Dr. John came and told them about Dr. David. So the evaluation was negative. And after a week, he came and he said, oops, folks, I made a mistake, not Dr. David. I think it's Dr. Samuel. He is the one is really bad, and he is the person with no ethical standard whatsoever. And here is a paper and pencil to evaluate Dr. who? Dr. David. And guess what happened? The evaluation turned out the same. No change. Because once we take the negative opinion and we put it in our mind, it's very hard to erase it or delete it. Therefore, you really need to be very careful to be around the people that they are positive and they don't complain and they try to bring the best out of you. Even if you bring load of evidence to correct the things about the person, it's very difficult, because what's happened to us, we as a human being keep the materials in our unconscious mind, and normally the unconscious mind stores the negative experience, not the positive one. We glance over the positivity, but mostly we really restore the negative experience, and we keep bringing it over and over. Here, there is no logic with the unconscious mind. So we really need to understand that, okay? The other experiment done, which we really need to see why we are not losing weight, okay? There is an epidemic worldwide. Why we are not losing weight, folks? There is a problem here about self-concept and mindset. And Dr. Ellen Langer done an incredible study. She went to the hotel maids, and normally those hotel maids are obese women. And she divided them to two groups of people, experimental group and control group. And she came to the experimental group and she said, listen, lady. Of course, she took the measurement and all of them are equal in the measurement. Okay. And she said, listen, lady, what you do in your work according to the Surgeon General of United States, and you know the Surgeon General is a very trusted man in America. Whatever he said, people take really his word serious. And she said, according to the Surgeon General, that the activity that you do, you're supposed to be thin and lose weight. Merely she told them this statement. And the other control group didn't tell them. And after about a month, she came and she found out merely those statements that she told them affected them and they reduced their weight. So basically here what's happened, folks, that she found out the weight decrease, the systolic blood pressure is really low, and she found out those people become very positive about their own self-image. So what is missing in the equation of losing weight? The equation is self-concept. And when you say, I hate my body, hey, listen, your body tells you, if you hate me, you are not going to lose any pound. And that's drive you to eat more and more. And when you say, I am going into diet, oh, no, the body say, oh, don't put me in a diet, please. I am not going to die. Please go to Mama Noor and have more sandwich and eat. Okay, so here is you really need to be very careful. You say, I would like to change my lifestyle and be positive about your body image. If you have a negative body image, I assure you one thing, you will never lose a weight. Let me conclude my talk, folks, in a story. There was a wise man, and he has a student, disciple, walking on the market. And he saw a farmer coming and holding a cow by the leash. And he is pulling the cow, and the cow is really refusing to come. And he's pulling the cow. And the student around him, they say, look, this guy is really struggling with the cow. And he said, please bring me a scissor. So they gave him a scissor. And you know what he did? He cut the rope. And what's happened to the cow? The cow ran away. And the guy felt very upset. He said, okay, we'll bring the cow to you. But I want to demonstrate to you, student, and my disciple, and my follower, why do you hold in the cow of your negative thinking? Let it go. Cut it loose. Be positive. Don't accumulate the negative thought in your mind. Thank you very much and have a wonderful time.
دكتور طالب, thank you very much. بس ابغى ابلغ الامن انه في كاو ترى ضايعه هنا في